What's up, guys? It's Tosh here, back with another video, and we are back to talk about the NBA Finals. The Celtics have advanced, the Warriors have advanced. These two teams that we'll jump into it, but let's just say I didn't have these two teams making it to the finals. Starting off with the Celtics, they made it past the Nets, swept them in the first round. Then, the Bucks, and now the Heat, and then the Warriors, they beat Denver, Memphis, and now Dallas. All great, formidable teams. There's always injuries with the playoffs, which is unfortunate. A lot of it is skill-based and, that postseason, just grit, I guess. But also there's luck involved. So you have injuries with stars like, Ja Morant and, the Bucks not having Chris Middleton. And I guess you could argue Ben Simmons not playing. I don't even think that's a factor, but it's an injury, so I just thought to mention it. And even with the Heat, Kyle Lowry was in and out of the lineup with a lot of hamstring soreness, I think. And, same with on the Celtics side, too. They had Robert Williams out of their lineup, in and out. Marcus Smart dealing with, foot injury, foot pain. So there's been a lot of, back and forth stuff going on with injuries, but that's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to talk about is the two teams that have willed their way to the finals, the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors. Now, I'm going to keep it a buck with you, bro. I didn't have the Celtics making it to the finals, let alone, the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? They were, 16 and 19 in January, and then they just flipped the switch, bro. Ime Udoka, super underrated coach, has been great for them. They're locked in defensively. The Celtics and the Warriors are the number one and number two defenses in the league. So it's going to be very interesting to see some of these games, especially due to the fact that a lot of the past games we saw in the conference finals and just in the playoffs in general have been, blowouts here and there. There might be 1 to 2 close games in a series, but for the most part, it's been a lot of blowouts. Luckily with the Celtics and Heat series, the last two games, Game 6 and Game 7, were pretty entertaining. So very happy about that. Hopefully we can get a lot of that in the finals. But yeah, back to what I was saying about the Celtics, 16 and 19, it was a lot of talk about, pick one, trade Tatum, trade Brown, you got to pick one. A lot of that discourse, which I feel like is crazy. I mean, at the time, I won't lie, I was kind of believing, do they trade someone? I wasn't saying, yeah, trade someone, but because, literally, Jason Tatum said it on JJ Redick's podcast. They both asked each other, do you want to be here? And they were both like, yeah. And it's realistically, why would you trade, two of your best players? And granted, they haven't gotten anything done in the past outside of a couple of conference finals, but realistically, why do you trade both of your best players? As a team, they brought Horford back. He had taken that year off or however long off after playing in OKC, and he's been great for them. And at his age, which is great, Al Horford's been vital to that Celtics team for so many years, and to have him come back after a while of being away and really elevate that team and be, kind of like the Al Horford of old, and just with his defensive impact and a three-point making ability, his will he's brought back. Marcus Smart stepped up substantially, DPOY. He's improved a lot with his passing, so they are very elite. I was looking at the team like the Suns and how they are elite top to bottom, even with the bench, just elite role players, guys who are amazing at their roles and know what they're supposed to do on the court. The Celtics, they flew under the radar for a long time. Like I said, it was a lot of that trade JB or JT discourse going on earlier this year, and it's just, like I said, bro, I keep it a buck. I had the Celtics not even touching the playoffs. That's how much I was just not necessarily hating, but just not believing. There's always been a case like that with the Celtics and just them not having enough or not doing enough or having a mediocre season or having a good season and then the next season having a mediocre season, and then just that kind of pattern. Even though, like I said, they've made conference finals and they made the playoffs for the past couple of years consistently, but no one, I feel like no one, you could literally ask anybody. No one had the Celtics in the finals, bro. You know what I mean? If you're going back based off January, I feel like a lot of people didn't even have the Celtics making the playoffs. So very happy for the Celtics. I can admit when I was wrong. I was a non-believer, but I mean 16 and 19 with really good players and a really good team, honestly, and they're just not making it click. I feel like a lot of people would have thought the same thing, but hey, that's just me. I wasn't a believer in the Celtics, and I'm a believer now. I don't think they'll win. However, I do feel like they'll give the Warriors a run for their money. a good fight. Hopefully, like I said, it's not any blowouts or anything. I feel like they could probably take 2 games. You know, I honestly have the Warriors in 6. That's who I think will win. I don't really have a preference. Obviously, I'm not a fan of either team. You know, I'm a Laker fan. I'm happy for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I'm happy for the Warriors. You know, they were out of the playoff contention for 2 years due to injuries. And, you know, last year or the year before, was it the bubble year? I think it was the bubble year. They won like 15 games. So it was pretty abysmal 2 years for the Warriors. So cool to see them back. And it's awesome to see, you know, the Celtics finally make it to the finals after being so close, you know, all those years in the conference finals against the Heat and the Cavs, against LeBron all those years ago. It's really dope to see the 2 teams finally come back to the finals. Obviously, the Celtics, no one in that group has been to the finals. You know, shout out to Al Horford, the first Dominican Republic player to be in the finals, which is pretty dope. And like I said, that whole entire Celtics team has never been to the finals, so it's dope to see them finally make it. And it'll be really interesting to see what the Warriors can do when they return to the finals. You know, it's almost weird seeing guys like LeBron or even like that entire Warriors team just not be in the playoffs or the finals like those years where they didn't make it. It was almost very unnatural, you know? Obviously, a lot of people were like tired of it and saying it was repetitive and stuff. So a lot of people were happy to see them not in the playoffs or the finals, but it's cool to see the Warriors back. So yeah, very intense matchup here with the Celtics and the Warriors. Like I said, I got Warriors in 6. It'll be cool to see the Celtics win too. Anything can happen, you know. Pray that there's no substantial injuries or anything bad that can happen. You know, that's always the case going into a series. Just having these 2 forces collide, and like it'd suck to have something like an injury or a suspension or whatever like taint like the competitiveness of this series. So hopefully everything can stay clean, everything can stay good, and we can have a good finals matchup. And also another thing I want to talk about is in the Miami Heat series, when, you know, Jimmy Butler, obviously game 6 had like 47 points. It was going crazy for them. Then for game 7, he had 35 points, just giving it his all and didn't really have another co-star. You know, Bam was doing his thing, but he's been up and down, inconsistent. Like I said with Kyle Lowry earlier, hamstring injury, in and out of the lineup. His best game, I think, was game 6 when he had like 18 points and 10 assists, which was pretty good for him. Obviously coming off a hamstring and being able to help Jimmy Butler because he's been willing this team on, bro, carrying this team. And it's just crazy because, you know, Tyler Hero was out of the lineup. Like I said, with Bam's inconsistencies and Kyle's inconsistencies with the hamstring in and out of the lineup, it's been rough for them. So to see that Heat team will themselves to the conference finals, you know, Jimmy will himself and help that team get to the conference finals is very impressive. But in game 7, the shot he took down the stretch, like the open 3, people are saying you should have driven, you should have looked for the better shot. If you're the hottest player down the stretch, have basically taken all of the shots previously, or in the fourth quarter, you're taking over, you're hot, down the stretch, best player, open look, why not take it? Granted, Jimmy Butler isn't the greatest 3-point shooter, but like game 7, like down 2, I think they were, if Jimmy would have hit that shot, it wouldn't even be in question, like, oh, you shouldn't have taken it, oh, that's not the best look from Jimmy Butler, your best player, yada, 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 all that stuff. Down the stretch, bro, no one's thinking about 3-point percentages or that's not your shot or whatever other thing you want to say about him. Down the stretch, best player, hottest player on the court for that team, going down the stretch, open look, like I said, bro, if he would have hit the shot, there would be no ifs, ands, or buts, bro. Celtics fans, like, I'm watching the game, like, as not a fan of both teams, but like as a fan of basketball. And as soon as Jimmy put up that shot, my heart dropped as if I was a Celtics fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, is he about to like game them? Obviously, I think the Celtics would have had time to get another shot up if Jimmy hit the 3. But as soon as he let that thing go, I'm like, bro, like, there's no way the Celtics just did that, right? Like, blew it. Because they had the lead for a good portion of the fourth quarter, and then they started to rally. Max Strus hit a big 3. And, you know, Jimmy coming down, I really thought he had that 3, man. Like, if he would have hit that, there would be no discourse saying, oh, that wasn't the best shot. You should have driven. Like, he even said in the post-game interview, like, it was an open look. It was a good look. You know, obviously he's going to take the shot. And, you know, his teammates like the shot, and he's going to live with it. You know, you live with those shots. And it's unfortunate. You know, he gave it his all, but the Celtics were the better team. It's unfortunate that Jimmy didn't have a lot of crazy help or consistent help, at least. But that's neither here nor there. The Celtics got it done. Nothing taken away from them. They fought hard and they came out this series. And obviously on the Warriors and the Mavericks side, there's not much to talk about. 4-1. Warriors got him up and out of there. Shout out to Luka. He gave it his all. Brunson and Dinwiddie tried to do as much as they could to help out with Luka, but it just wasn't enough against that Warriors team. So, but Luka will be back. But Warriors advance, and let me know in the comments who you guys have. Like I said, I have Warriors in 6. Team with a lot of playoff experience, finals experience, multi-time champions. It'd be really interesting to see Steph, Clay, and Dre win their 4th title together. That'll be pretty awesome. And it'll be just as awesome to see, Tatum or Brown, and then just that whole Celtics organization. Like I said, they haven't been to the finals, so it'll be dope to see them win a championship potentially. So this finals matchup is very interesting. At the end of the day, bro, all I'm looking for is some close competitive games, down to the wire games. I know every game won't be like that. Even with like all the blowups that have been happening and all the people complaining, I'm like, man, it just is what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, when you have the most elite of the elite on the floor, you expect close competitive games and not blowouts. But I mean, it's sports. Anything can happen at any time. Specifically in this circumstance, with it being the finals, I pray that we don't get like however many blowouts of however many games. That would really suck. But like I said, hopefully it could be a clean cut, concise, close game, really exciting finals. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Like I said, let me know in the comments who you guys have against the Celtics and the Warriors in the finals. As I said, I got Warriors in 6, so let me know. Like I said, I hope you all enjoy. Catch you in the next one. It's Taj, and I'll see you guys.